Hi, my name's Allie O'Neill, and I am the Gateway Arts District Project Manager. I'm excited to talk to you all today about so much of the hard work that's been happening in the Arts District over the course of the last 18 months or so, and certainly more than that as we look a little bit back at all that's happened in the Arts District, but also share with you some of the new things that are coming and how you can get involved and what to expect next. Many strong organizations are invested in the Gateway Arts District. Prince George's Arts and Humanities Council, Maryland National Capital Park and Planning, both Gateway CDC and Hyattsville CDC. And these organizations came together and recognized that there was an opportunity to rethink what the Arts District management team did, how it operated, and who was part of it as we look ahead to the next 25 years in the Gateway Arts District. Just a brief timeline before we jump into what's changed or what's ahead. So the Arts District is looking on to its 25th year. It was established in 2001. Around that time, both Hyattsville CDC and Gateway CDC were established. They have adjacent jurisdictions, Hyattsville CDC serving the city of Hyattsville, and Gateway CDC serving the three municipalities of North Brentwood, Brentwood, and Mount Rainier. Both CDCs are committed to ensuring that there is a culture of art and creativity infused into every aspect of life in the Gateway Arts District. Between 2001 and 2009, a great deal changed in the Route 1 corridor. Mount Rainier saw a traffic circle installed, which really changed the experience for pedestrians, for visitors, and so many folks who were in the Arts District. The 3311 Artist Loft went up, Red Dirt Studios was established, Washington Glass School moved into the area. We saw Renaissance Square Artist Housing open, Palette in the Arts District in Hyattsville opened, Pyramid Atlantic Arts Center, the Perry Street Net Zero Townhomes, Pennyroyal Station, and in 2023, the trolley trail extended from Riverdale Park all the way down to Charles Armentrout. And in 2025, we are celebrating the opening of the Canvas Apartments and mixed-use development in Hyattsville. And that is by no means an exhaustive list. There are so many exciting things. Other benchmarks, the Art Lives Here campaign, which was funded by the National Endowment for the Arts in 2011, really established a branded and marketed sense of the Arts District. In 2021, Prince George's Arts and Humanities Council really led the efforts to recertify the Arts District with the state of Maryland. What that entailed was bringing all four municipalities back together and through a series of interviews, surveys, focus groups, and some iterative process, putting forward a new structure for the Arts District management team. We are pleased to announce that in 2025, we did in fact have a memorandum of understanding signed by all four municipalities, which showcases their support and active partnership in the Arts District and its future. So to get to this new management team, as I said, we interviewed key stakeholders. I had the absolute pleasure of speaking to the mayors of all four municipalities, town staff and city staffs from all municipalities, spoke to several artists, some newer, some established in the Arts District, and some who had been part of establishing the Arts District, and as well, art space operators. So many folks who are part of making this Arts District what it is today. And what I heard from them, overarchingly, is that there is some confusion, that there had been a lack of consistent communication, and that a lack of clarity was sort of the underlying theme in regards to who did what, for whom, and who was accountable to what. And we've heard that loud and clear. And our response to that was a recognition of a need for a clear purpose and explicit responsibilities. We know we need to openly and clearly answer the questions: what is the role of the management team in the Gateway Arts District? And what is the management team accountable for? Additionally, I heard from all 4 mayors, who it was such a pleasure to speak to, that they were oftentimes primary representatives of their jurisdictions in this management team. And while they appreciated the seat at the table, they recognized that perhaps the information was flowing the wrong way. So that instead of them informing the management team, perhaps the management team could provide them useful information about how to better serve their constituencies. And so with that, as we look at how to put together and who makes up this management team, we propose adding local representatives. So making sure we have municipal connections, whether that's staff or clearly identified community members, who would participate in the management team. And they would provide communication back to all of our municipalities and our mayors and council. And as well, that would be my role in the Arts District Management project manager role as well. Most of the makeup of the Arts District Management team, however, and this is a bit of a change from where we've been before, actually needs to be artists and the creatives who are living, working, and calling the Arts District home for their creative practices and for many of their families as well. The management team is a little bit bigger than it was last time, but we believe that many hands make light work. And oftentimes, redundancy really is healthy when we start to look at how we can do big things together. And we are proposing that this team is made up of 17 to 19 members. Some of them would be brought in via nomination to make sure that our municipalities feel like they really do have a clear path and a seat at the table. But we also have a number of slots that would still be open and be filled by application. And so keep that in mind as the summer goes on, and we'd love to see some of you all putting your name into the hat to be part of this group. We were very intentional when we built this group makeup. So in addition, again, to municipal staff or community representatives and artists who we think should be major stakeholders, we also recognize that our arts organizations in the corridor are so strong and they make such an impact. We need their perspective on the Arts District as well. We also have businesses and landlords, and we know that they are important as well. And we don't want to exclude our business community from this. And instead, we would love to understand how business in the Arts District can be improved, both to support our artists and our creative economy more generally. We did hear a lot, and I'll share with you briefly some of the other things that we heard. Now, this is a broad list and it's a long list. And I will say that I don't think everything will happen within the Arts District Management team, but we do want you all to be aware of some of the ideas that were put forth. We heard a need for annual priorities and needs to be articulated by this team, and we'll go through a little bit more, but through a process that is informed by the broader Arts District community. We need a collective vision and actionable plan. How are we going to get to where we want to go? And then who would be responsible for getting us there? So who are those organizations who would implement the plan? There was a sense that there was a lack of ambassadorship, a role for someone who would communicate activities, projects, all of the strengths and richness of the Arts District. Who's telling that story and making sure that people know just how special the Gateway Arts District is? We also heard a need for cultivating culture and changing perceptions of artists and the arts. And really, I think what this gets at is understanding the value, and more than that, articulating the value of arts and artists in every step of the way in the Gateway Arts District. It's a great place to live, to learn, to work, and to do business. We need to make sure more people know that. We also heard that there needed to be a repository of knowledge, historical and current, a list of artists and businesses in the area. We needed a coordinator of activities and groups, and as well a resource for local officials, institutions, and newcomers who could understand and get a taste of just how special the Gateway Arts District is. That was quite a list. And while we love a challenge, um, the decision was made to start the management team out with some strong and steady responsibilities. And we believe trust is built through action, and we know that that's going to be important in order to keep the Arts District moving forward. While we agree and think all of those ideas are fantastic, we made a decision to start simple with the management team. And what we wanted to do was make sure that we were building trust with you and that we were following up on our actions. And so we broke down the management team responsibilities into two main categories. The first, which is so important, and we know it is a hallmark of the district, are the events that everyone comes to see. Open Studios Tour predates the Gateway Arts District. It is an amazing event that is of, by, and for the artists. And absolutely, the Arts District management team would be in support of that artist-led event. Hyattsville also has the Arts and Ales Festival in early fall, September every year, and we know that we want to be in support of that as well. And so the management team would take on some project management, sponsorship, and different types of support that could be needed, promotion. And then additionally, something that we heard and really found to be a thoughtful addition to what the management team had previously taken on was an annual priorities setting, and really kind of a creation of an agenda for the district. We know so much great stuff goes on. There's so many people taking on projects, winning awards, doing amazing things, and yet we don't stop to share all of those achievements with one another. This is an opportunity to do that in our state of the district. We would come together, celebrate one another, make sure that we pause and tell our story strongly about everything that's coming ahead and going on. And additionally, we would try to figure out what next year looks like. What are the things we need? What would we like to accomplish? How are we getting towards the arts district that we all know that we want to see? And so this is a newer addition to the Arts District management team. There's always been the idea of guidance and sort of direction, but this would be an explicit way to bring the community together, to celebrate, and to look ahead and figure out what it is we're going to accomplish together. We believe that a reinvigorated management team is well suited to also take on the role of ambassador for the Gateway Arts District. They're going to tell the story and be the ones to make sure that people really do understand all of the strengths of the Gateway Arts District. Something else we heard loud and clear was that it was unclear who was doing what when. And so we wanted to just take a moment. First and foremost, we are so pleased that both community development corporations and the Gateway Arts District are collaborating and working together. We are so much stronger when we work together, and it is an absolute pleasure to work with Bronwyn King at Hyattsville CDC and with Michelle Darden-Lee at Gateway CDC. The role of the Arts District Project Manager does live with Gateway CDC, as Gateway CDC is acting as the fiscal sponsor for this group. What that means, in short, is they are managing financial pieces. They're making sure that our record keeping is in order. They're making timely payments. And it is through them that grant applications, management, and reporting will go through. And then what is it that I am responsible for? And what can you all expect in the future? So we know that there are so many events that happen in the 4 municipalities. We want to make sure that everyone is aware of them, and that when we have an opportunity to amplify or even to coordinate, that we take that opportunity. In no way are we doing away with any of the individual flavors of these 4 places. There's no reason to. There's so much strength. In fact, what we're trying to do is show people just how amazing all 4 of these places, which are so close together, are. Additionally, just sort of logistically, I will be the primary point of contact for Open Studios Tour and for the Gateway Arts District. If you have a question and I don't have the answer, I'm pretty good at going out and figuring out who does and getting back to you. And that will be my primary role, is to make sure that as people have questions, there's information to disseminate or other things. I will be the distribution system. Additionally, there's going to be sort of an annual schedule or calendar, things that happen routinely at different times of year, and the management of that and shepherding and stewardship of it will come through me. Obviously, part of project management, it's not the fanciest, but record keeping and information sharing, and also facilitation of meetings. Participation in the management team is meant to be fun, it's meant to be enriching, and it's meant to feel like you are making a difference. It is my job to set you up for success as future members of the management team. Obviously, that annual convening that I was just talking about, the state of the district, will take a little bit of coordination to put together, and that would also be part of my responsibility. And then taking that information that we learn at the annual convening and massaging it, translating it into a set of annual priorities that we as an arts district will move forward with. Slowly but surely, we're coming back online. So if you can follow us on Instagram at My Gateway Arts, more social media handles to come and announcements, but we're back on and we're there. And just very briefly, so you all have sort of I won't spend too much time on the org chart because there's not much fun there, but so you have a sense of what this role is, who's doing what, and again, through the lens of how do we talk about this and understand who's accountable and responsible. My role technically is docked at Gateway CDC with the fantastic director there, who is also managing other parts of Gateway CDC's activities. But I am also beholden to the Gateway management team chair, whoever moves into that leadership role, and the management team more generally. And so in some ways, I signed myself up to have 2 bosses, but I think it is the right way to manage this Gateway Arts District. And before I move on to what's coming up, I do want to talk through some of what we've already accomplished. We've been working a bit behind the scenes. Some of you may see me out and about at different events or doing in different roles. And a lot of that was me doing the work to bring the 4 municipalities back to a collaborative partnership really focused around the Gateway Arts District. We're really proud of the work that we've done. We're so grateful to all of the municipal staff and elected officials, council members, mayors, who were willing to take the time to sit with us to really consider how we can make the Gateway Arts District what we know it can be. We brought down the Maryland State Arts Council and we hosted a tour with them, which was a fantastic day, just again, talking about all of the great stuff in the Gateway Arts District. We also provided project management support, again, fancy, for all 3 co-directors of this year's Open Studios Tour. And what that meant was that we became the kind of, again, the repository. We were the place where people went with to share information, to make sure that we had all of our invoices, that we had our schedule, and that we moved forward in a way that was um, strongest for Open Studios Tour. And I am pleased to tell you we had a fantastic year this year. Thank you to all of the participants, the artists who opened their doors, um, the folks who worked behind the scenes, the shuttle drivers. We had 2 amazing municipalities provide shuttles to the group, and to everyone who joined us. We were thrilled to have gotten strong press coverage for the event, and in addition to some amazing work that happened um, by Washington Glass School and Michael Janis, where we were covered in East City Art, we also were covered in Washington City Paper and in the Washington Post. And we heard from many, many visitors that those were key to them attending. So we look forward to more successes. We're just getting started, but just to give you a preview of some of what we've done so far. And then looking ahead, we know that we need to make plans in order to achieve things. And we're thrilled to talk through what 2025 and 2026 looks like. The plan is to establish a strong inaugural cohort in the new management team structure. We won't get everything done, but we're going to work really, really hard to try. And I think a strong starting year that really gets the momentum going will go a long way for the future of the Arts District. We also acknowledge that we need to overcome a well-earned lack of trust, unfortunately. And that for us, that means a lot of action, a lot of follow through, and a lot of presence. And I'm excited to spend time with you all. We also know that we need to aggregate our shared vision and really articulate that for what does the next 10 years of the Arts District look like? What does it mean to be here? Lots to talk about, and I love a good visioning session or two, so excited to work with you all on that as well. And then we know we need to deliver. We need meaningful projects that support this collective vision of the Arts District, that support and secure artists, that create a place and a space where visitors are excited to be, and that is memorable and the place where people come year after year and day after day. And so what's next? What should you expect? Well, this summer, please be on the lookout for the management team nominations to open up. I know there's so many creatives out there in the Arts District, so many people who have expertise, knowledge, and passion. And we're thrilled to have you join us. Mark your calendars as well for September 9th, please. We are going to start talking about Open Studios Tour 2026. We'll meet at Otis Street Arts Project at 6 p.m. and we're excited to see you all there as well. It's an open door policy. And then as we move into the fall, we will be hosting the inaugural annual Arts District Gathering and Celebration. We're excited to bring everyone together to toast our achievements for the year and to plan ahead and to understand what we want to see for the next year. And with that, I invite you to save the date, tell your friends, potentially plan a party for September 20th, 2025. And we'll see you at the Downtown Hyattsville Arts and Ales Festival. And on May 9th, 2026, for the Gateway Arts District Open Studios Tour. My name is Allie O'Neill. I'm thrilled to be the Gateway Arts District Project Manager for the arts team, and I look forward to working with you all in the future.